Alright, so we are going to talk about Cartel now. Finally, let's talk about the big man himself, Vybz Kartel. So, Vybz Kartel was charged, for those of you who don't know, was charged and convicted for the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. There are several arguments that comes to play where Cartel is concerned. On one side of the coin, you have persons that say he was not given a fair trial. He was attacked solely and only because he has so much influence over the youths in our society. And the status quo, the big man, could not continue to have that going on. And as a result, some sort of plan was orchestrated to not only get the DJ behind bars, but to apparently destroy his character, his reputation as a result. Cartel has been behind bars for some time now. I think it's 8 years. Do correct me if I'm wrong. He is still one of dancehall's dominant figure. He continues to pave the way in which people entertain and educate, and he continues to this day to be an icon in Jamaica. So again, on this flip side, on the other side of the coin, we have evidence, compelling evidence, which draws him and his co-accused directly to the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. And on this side of the coin, them say, we not care. Cartel are the boss. F with Lizard. Lizard was a murderer already. Cartel free him regardless. Nobody was there to witness the murder. So as a result, there is no evidence, sufficient evidence to prosecute and to have the man on behind bars. You can never win with this topic because everybody has their own general beliefs in how this reality show could have been handled. And if you say Cartel got what he justly deserved, you are going to be chastised, criticized, and called all sorts of names. It's his side, Lizard's side, and the truth. We can't find Lizard. We have some information which would link and hold the man solely to the responsible disappearance of Clive Lizard Williams. What do we do with this information? Should we, as a society, look beyond what is presented to us and say, hey, we rate the man enough, so let's just put that behind closed door. Let's not consider a family loss because at the end of the day, Cartel is revered by millions and trillions of people globally. So he cannot under no circumstance be held accountable for what he supposedly did. So for the interest of time, let's go back down to history.
Silence in the courtroom about 9:30 this morning when the three-member panel of judges arrived to hand down their decision. President of the Court of Appeal Dennis Morrison said the appeals of Adidja Palmer, better known as Vybz Kartel, Sean Campbell, Kahira Jones, and Andre St. John against their convictions were all dismissed and the convictions upheld. One of the grounds for the appeal was the admissibility of cell phone evidence. The phone is important because it contained, among other things, 40 voice notes, 8 images, as well as text messages relied on by the prosecution. During the appeal hearing in July 2018, lawyers for Vybz Kartel pointed to a discrepancy in relation to the time one of the text messages used to convict the entertainer was sent. That text message read, "Between me and you, a chap will chop up the boy lizard, fine, and dash him away no. As long as you live, them can never find him." Lawyers for the appellant said there were uncertainties about the date the text message was created. They argued that it was created on July 6, 2011, 6 weeks before prosecutors claimed Clive Lizard Williams was killed. The prosecutors said there was no discrepancy. They argued that that specific message was created August 19, 2011. Note here that August 19, 2011 is 3 days after prosecutors said Lizard was killed. In the written judgment, the court said despite the submissions in respect of the chop-up message, it cannot be said that there was truly a discrepancy as to when the message was sent. The cross-examination, the court argued, sought to introduce other dates as being important, but the police investigator who testified at the trial did not resile from his evidence as to the date that the chop-up message was sent. The investigator's testimony was that a file with messages was created on July 6, 2011, and that the messages in that file were sent on August 19, 2011. As for the phone itself, lawyers for the appellant argued that the phone was tampered with and manipulated. In the October 2014 trial, a police investigator admitted that there was an outgoing text message on the phone on October 1, 2011. Note here, the police took the phone from Kartel on September 30, 2011. The investigator also admitted in the 2014 trial that there were 3 outgoing calls on October 9, 2011. Prosecutors argued that the use of the phone was not malicious. In its decision, the Court of Appeal said there is no evidence of tampering with either the date or timestamps of the items relied upon by the prosecution. A mere possibility that there could have been manipulation of those items is not sufficient to disqualify those items from the consideration of the jury. The court said the fact that the phone was improperly used while in the custody of the police is too slender a basis to exclude the rest of the evidence on the phone. On March 13, 2014, there was an alleged case of bribery by one juror. The trial judge allowed the jury to deliberate after the issue was brought to his attention, but first reminded the jurors of their oath. That led the lawyers for the appellants to argue that they were tried by a contaminated and tainted jury. During the 2018 appeal hearing, prosecutors had argued that failure to discharge the jury, despite of the bribery allegation, cannot amount to a miscarriage of justice. In response to this, the Court of Appeal says it seems to us that the judge had before him enough information on which to base his discretion to continue with the trial with warnings or directions to the jury, which he ultimately did. There was nothing that could have been gained and a great deal that would have been lost by questioning the accused juror.
Those are some of the information that would have been used against Vybz Kartel in the infamous trial. Again, nobody in my mind at this point in time can win an argument if they are for or against the whole situation. I listened to the voice notes, and the one question I want to ask is, was that Vybz Kartel in those voice notes? And if it isn't, who is it? People, I know my views are not popular, and a lot of people out there will not like or don't like what I am saying or alluding to. But people, let us just entertain the thought for a second that Vybz Kartel was in fact wrongly convicted, wrongly charged. Let us entertain the thought that Fully Gaza has put on us that says Lizard is a police killer. Lizard was not killed by Vybz Kartel, and he probably could be somewhere, and I quote, some foreign country. Let us entertain that thought for a second. His appeal was rejected, and there are a lot of persons out there that is upset, that is angered, that is frustrated by the whole ordeal. There were a lot of mishaps in the whole Vybz Kartel case. A lot of mishaps. But then I draw back to the whole point, people. Who was that in those 20 to 40 had odd voice note? Who was it? Was it not Vybz Kartel? How can we find the person who did this? Is it that technology, and I'm not saying that it can't be possible, is so great? Is it that Kartel is such a threat that the legal fraternity here in Jamaica would go out of their way to frame him by getting specialized technology to mimic his voice? Would our legal fraternity see Vybz Kartel as such a great threat that they would go out of their way to frame this man? To get some sort of technology that is not yet known to the general public to change and disguise somebody's voice to make it sound and appear with the whole diction, cadence, and the way in which Mr. Kartel speak. I would absolutely 100% pay for that kind of information. So the lawyers on both sides, we saw the Paula Llewellyn, the public prosecution, who was integral in her part in the conviction of Vybz Kartel, making her point that the evidence was overwhelming. There was no way Vybz Kartel appeal would have gone through. Their hope is now the Privy Council. Let's hear what the DPP and the lawyers representing Kartel's co-accused have to say.
1 year, 8 months, hoping that the judgment would have come in our favor. With all the experience I have, I'm still in shock because this is one of the strongest appeals I've ever argued in my 41-year career at the bar. This is why I'm encouraged that we will succeed at the next level. Sean Campbell had discussions with us. We broached to him the possibility, the remote possibility that we would have been turned down, and he said in the unlikely event, we should go to the Privy Council.
There is a view, somewhat misguided, I think, or misperceived, let me use misperceived, that some people are above the law. But every now and again, in the same way that the COVID-19 experience that we are having has touched prime ministers, ministers of health worldwide, the famous, the infamous, royalty, in the same way, the rule of law, certainly in our jurisdiction, reminds us through cases like this that nobody is above the law.
Mr. Campbell expressed to me that there is a certain perception of a pressure that is on the justice system in Jamaica because they don't feel that there is any, as it were, freedom to think freely because of who are involved in this appeal. And we don't think that the Privy Council comes under any such pressure when we take matters to them.
When the matter was tried, the prosecution prepared the case. We were ready. When the matter went to the Court of Appeal, they took it to the Court of Appeal. They filed their grounds of appeal. We did our research. We were ready. And I believe that if it is taken elsewhere and the appeal is filed, then we will also have to be ready there as well.
So there you have it, folks. The DPP and the lawyers representing Vybz Kartel and his co-accused. They're saying that, one, there is a strain on this justice system here because of who Vybz Kartel is as an individual. And to have the appeal elsewhere perhaps will give him a better chance at freedom. Paula, Paula, what you look like? Gaza youth. Gaza youth. So Gaza, you to say it after watching and hearing Paula Luling. Paula, how you look like a man, so? I'm wondering if you is a trend. You're oh boy. What am I gonna do? What can I say about that right now? What can I say to what can I say to that? Paula Luling is, if I dare say so, sometimes I don't agree with her rulings. Paula is among the best and the brightest in the legal field. And this woman seldom makes mistakes. Um, so there is that, folks. So, like I said, for those of you who want to call in and hear uno grows or cuss me out if uno believe say I am anti-Gaza and so on, there the number is right there. Here's an opportunity for you to state your case, bring forth the evidence that you have to suggest that Vybz Kartel and his co-accused were wrongfully charged for the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. Him lie and lie. Them know say Cartel are gonna spend the rest of his life in prison. This is coming from Paulie. Just a taking money. I've heard that also. I've heard that that these people, Paulie, that these people really and truly not care about Vybz Kartel and his well-being. They are in it to full up them pockets because they know in themselves that the evidence is overwhelming, and they know themselves that even if they take it to the next level, that the results will ultimately be the same. So, Fully Gaza say, why you even wasting your time? Pusey Gaza Nation, stay strong. You a hater. We don't want to hear nothing from you. Alright, no problem. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, boss. What's up?
Right, sure.
Yeah, man, this is the Ratted Show.
Yes, sir. I listen to everything and thing. Them not understand, sir. Vybz Kartel have much things against him, Virgin. Right? The man try to pay off the lawyer. The dog bite him. Him tell Vanessa Blinks if he tell lies, tell Lisa did a lie. So they talk to him. Him pay off the police them for tamper with the phone and the judge people can't see it. Him send man got burned down him house. That's with forensic evidence. None of them people not see them something there, because them blind.
Them not gonna see it because it's not
Every
convenient
ban
to
again,
them.
one ban as an artist, a famous one. That could do anything and get there.
Yeah.
You ever tell you?
Yeah,
Nobody not see nothing. Because trust me, my brethren, the man guilty as hell. Why am I go through so much things to free himself? He's like a young man on a straw. I try and on a straw, brethren. You understand what I mean?
I
Phone
agree.
mess him up. Then I tell the phone, wish my lizard, if lizard not dead. He say, if I me like it, I spend my money find lizard instead of the liar. I swear to God. Me say, me that spend for my money for find lizard because guess what? Me never kill him, so he must out there then.
It must out
Anywhere they
there.
hide him, I forgot show up. Even if man a rock, they go find him. You understand what I mean? And these people now see them things, but we know the reason why them not see.
Yeah.
And them artists, I'm my artist, you know.
I'm my
Right
artist
is right
too.
and wrong is wrong.
Wrong is wrong indeed, and you know
You understand what I mean? It could be your family him kill. It
Mhm.
could be your picnic him kill. It could be you him kill. You understand what I mean, Virgin?
Yeah, man.
So the reason why that the man said this and the man twist it tongue and not turn it tongue. Yo, the man guilty as hell. Listen to me now. We come from Portmore. We know the man finding a had a band and him a kill people long time. You
Damn.
understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Him kill one promoter youth, a producer youth out of Gregor Park and the boys. I mean, nobody had talk about that.
Yeah.
You understand? I mean, if you ask people who come from Portmore and know Gaza history, they will tell you, you man a youth know a waterfall named Mikey Pelpa. A Florida, yes, a Mikey Pelpa come young, you know. Mikey Pelpa used to be a big war gangster them. Mikey
Yeah.
Pelpa a killer too, you know. You understand what I mean? And the two of them used to war and one time them join peace meet down at Waterford. Because I remember say Mikey Pelpa come from top of Waterford and he come from down at bottom of Waterford. You understand
Yeah.
what I mean? This brother is no Saint Virgin is a good artist. Can't take that from him, probably the best. But guess what? Him is a friend killer virgin. See? Most of all of who used to arm him artists, him beat them and when them go foreign and come back him take out them visa and lock it away.
There
Them
is.
can't go nowhere, them can't and take their money and take 20% out of their money or probably even more.
Mm.
You understand what I mean? People don't know the Gaza history. That's why them hold on for them and keep them. See, one to the funeral woman where did that work at the front desk. Them can't find her up to this day. You think the authority don't know about them something there?
Yeah,
Eh?
there was understand corrected. There was one point where the former um security said that he was linked to apparent, and I stand corrected, like I said, to around 100 murders.
I don't know about a hundred, you know, but I don't know about a few.
So
Me a street man.
yeah,
Me I tell you. You understand what I mean? And right is right and wrong is right. You can't go around and kill people like that. Listen, man. Choose one of them. Is either he's an artist or he's a killer. Which one you choose?
which one do we choose indeed? Well, thank you, Brethren,
You,
for
you understand what I
yeah,
mean?
man,
Let's go on to the show, man.
yeah,
Alright,
man.
sir.
Thank you for calling, and I appreciate it. There you have it, folks. That's one point. That's a one thing we need to take into consideration. I'm not in the streets, and there's a lot of persons out there with varying experience that could tell you about this man and his character, and we cannot, under no circumstances, call these people liar and Gaza haters. We have to take everything into consideration. And again, we cannot under no circumstance use the law as a convenience, because this could be our brother, this could be our sister, and if you were in their shoes, you would ultimately want justice for your friends or family. This was a good show. I appreciate each and every single person who tune in. I appreciate each and every single person who participate in the chat. Big up yourself, Gaza Youth. Fully Gaza Youth. Big up yourself, Polly. Big up yourself, Allison. Big up yourself, Cashwin. Every single person who continues to support the Rotted Show. I appreciate it very much. And if you have any suggestion on how I can improve this platform, don't be afraid to reach out.